Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I have a charity shop book haul. If you have been following this channel over the last couple of weeks, then you may have noticed that I have been hauling a lot of books recently. Do I need to mention it again? Do I need to talk about stress buying? I go one of two ways when I'm feeling particularly stressed, and one of these ways is to unhaul books dramatically. Now, my shelves are currently in a position where I don't have anything that I want to get rid of. And because of that, I end up going the other way and just buying all of the things. This week, I was at work and I happened to be beside the books and I ended up finding a lot of books that ordinarily I would have thought, let's leave these and let's get them out of the library. And I didn't do that. Instead, I have brought them home with me. And I have been including my hauls recently in my wool gathering videos. Easy content for me to make. I know, I'm all about the easy content currently. Let's not talk about anything else. We already said we did not want to dwell on sadness a fortnight ago, and we're still not going to do that. Also, let's just address it now. This shirt is too big for me now. I weighed a considerable lot more a few years ago. I'm still losing weight currently. And I refuse to buy new clothes, so everything is either oversized or dramatically large, and I cannot cope with it, but I'm refusing to buy clothes because I am a skinflint, so unless anything my size comes into the shop, I will be wearing clothes that are too big for me for the duration. As you can see, piles of books behind me, apart from this one. I can't even talk about this one. This was for the BookTube prize. Let's forget it exists. Most of these books behind me now are all books that I need to read, and this stack's going to get bigger. This is a bit similar to Doris of all the books Tower of Doom, and I remember saying to her in a comment once about how I don't know how she can cope with that stack of books because it would just it would fill me with dread. And now I'm creating my own bookish tower that doesn't fill me with dread, but I am beginning to think of as mildly ornamental. I might never read these books because I quite like the aesthetic of a stack. That's a fucking lie. Anyway, let's go with these books. Firstly, we have Physics of the Impossible by Michio Kaku. Butchering that name, and I'm sorry about it. I'm just going to read this. It says that it is a scientific exploration of the world of phasers, force fields, teleportation, and time travel. And I feel like it's this popular science book talking and disputing the myths and legends of science fiction. When I was at university, I got into reading popular science books. You probably don't know that about me because when my volunteer saw that I had this book, he questioned it and he said, why are you picking that book up? And I just said, I don't know, because I didn't want to go into the whole spiel of how when I was younger, I was really interested in space and the stars and constellations and all of that. And as I grew older, all of my focus from all of these things I'd enjoyed and these documentaries and TV shows, everything, I seemed to lose all of that and only focus on one thing, which happened to be writing and books. And so all of the things that I had outside of writing, I no longer seem to think about more. Like, I used to have a really big interest in nature as well, and we don't need to go into that. Either way, I will probably be reading this one soon, hopefully within the next month, because I'm finding that I'm enjoying non-fiction at the moment. I have been listening to various queens from RuPaul's Drag Race read their own books via audiobook. I'm in a non-fiction mood at the moment. Then I have They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I don't know what this book is about. However, I am always here for any sort of gay fiction, even though I didn't particularly like that book of his I read. Was it even this one? What was it called? What was it called? Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember the book that I read? I read with Anthony Andrews. No? Nobody remember? History Is All You Left Me? It might have been that one. Either way, I didn't particularly like that one. I might not like this one, but that's why I got it from the charity shop, because I'm going to read it. Then I got The Magician's Guild and The Novice by Trudi, Canavan. These are the first two books in the Black Magician trilogy. And when I was a teenager, when I was a young boy, the librarian at my high school got the trilogy in. And she saved them for me because she knew that I liked fantasy fiction. And so I tried to read that first book and I wasn't interested. Then a few years down the line, I ended up wanting to read it again, so I tried it again and only got 100 pages into it, and then I tried it again later on. I tried to read another one of the author's books, and I just don't get on with the author's writing style. However, 27-year-old Charlie wants to see whether there was anything in there that maybe he was too young to appreciate. If I don't like it, these books can go back to the charity shop. The next book I have is probably my 4th copy of this book, and that is The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. I remember someone at uni called this their favourite book, so I bought it from the charity shop then. Then I returned it. Then a few years down the line I bought it again, returned it. Then, what was it? Their recent book, The Ministry of Utmost Happiness, that I also got from the charity shop and returned without reading. So, somehow, after Joy from the writers group said that she was rereading this and really enjoying it, I thought, let's give it another go. How old is this book? How old is this book? This book came out when I was 5, and this edition was published in 2017. Then I got Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. A lot of people have been talking about this book on BookTube, so I got it. And also, it has a post-it note in it. And so, I'm not sure whether someone's been annotating this book and all of their annotations have lost apart from this one, but let's read it. We have The Lovers, page 43. Oh. Yeah, people are questioning things in there. I don't know, but it looks like spoilers, so thank you to whoever decided to write their thoughts down and then leave the post-it note and start the book to spoil the fucking book. Also, I'm just going to say it now. I swore in this video. If you have children in the room, I'm sorry. It's been a while since... Look, it is... Ugh, I cannot cope with this shirt. Anyway, next I have My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. I read this last year. It wasn't my favourite book in the world, but I wanted a copy. Next, I got Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, a popular BookTube darling that I haven't read, and I'm going to see whether I'll like it. Then I have The Book of Dust, La Belle Sauvage by Phillip Pullman. Now, His Dark Materials isn't my favourite series in the world. I have read and listened to Northern Lights a few times, and I enjoy that book. It's my favourite of the series. I know technically people talk about how it should be read as one book, and I get that, I understand. Hashtag Narnia. Don't get on with The Subtle Knife. I don't get on with The Amber Spyglass. Not my favourite series. However, this was in the shop, and I kept thinking maybe I shouldn't buy it. Maybe I shouldn't buy it because I'm not the biggest fan of the series, and I still haven't got this book out of the library, but I'll give it a go. Then I have Liss Story by Stephen King. Now, I'm not really sure what this one's about, but last year I was reading Stephen King, and recently on one of Dane's videos, I said that I should get back into reading more Stephen King because I was enjoying what I read last year. Admittedly, I didn't get scared, and I don't think he's the best writer in the world, and yet there is something compulsive about reading his books, I found. This, I believe, follows a wife after the death of her husband, and it talks about a dark domain that was inside his head, and she's having to face her husband's demons. I'm hoping it's like that. I'm hoping that it's not some sort of domestic story. It's, you know, because that's the reason I haven't read Gerald's Game and I haven't read Misery. I like my horror with a bit more fantastical shit in there. Then I have Duma. Let's read this. So this guy's moved to an island. Apparently the island's been waiting for him. Shells are whispering to him. And then he begins to paint. And then there's going to be something about a family's hidden past. And don't worry, it's only, let's just say 700 pages. There's this strange thing within me that Christine was the first Stephen King I read. And whilst I didn't think it was the best book in the world, and I thought it was a bit like Riverdale, I kind of want every book then to be Christine. Then I got Uncommon Type by Tom Hanks, which is his collection of short stories. And then I got The Thief by Megan Whalen Turner, which is the first book, I believe, in the Queen's Thief series. It's from the 1990s. It's rather old and it's rather short. They tend to throw away the fantasy fiction at my shop because we don't have the customers for it. So I tend to end up saving a lot of fantasy and science fiction from our rag bags because I can't bear the idea of it being pulped. And I'm hoping that's all the books. I don't know when I'm going to find the time to read them or the want again, but I got them. Do you know, I might change my shirt before I record my next video because this is irksome indeed. Are there any books here that you think that I should prioritise? Have you read any of these books? If so, please feel free to leave your comments below. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. And until next time, that is all.